I'm Anil Kumar, and here's a practice sheet for you. We are looking into powers of I, the imaginary number. As you know, I square is negative 1. We need to evaluate all of these. The first one is I to the power of 8, then we have I to the power of 9, I to the power of 10, and I to the power of 11. Now, how do you find the value of each? That is the whole idea. I'd like you to pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestion. Now, whenever you have even powers, we know somehow we'll get a value which will be minus 1 or plus 1. Now, we have to see whether, in which condition do we get minus 1 and in which condition we get plus 1. Let's look into this. I to the power of 8, I can say I square to the power of what? It is 4, correct? 4 times 2 is 8. Now, I square is minus 1, so I'll write minus 1 to the power of 4. Now, since 4 is even, our answer is minus 1. Is that okay? Let's look into C first, and then we'll move on this side. I to the power of 10, I could write this as I squared to the power of 10 divided by 2, which is 5. Well, a question asked is, why do you work with I squared to the power of something? Simply because I squared is minus 1. That is the only thing which I know about I, right? So I squared is minus 1. Let me replace it with minus 1 to the power of 5. Now, I'm sorry, I wrote minus here. It should be plus. Minus 1 to the power of even power, right? It had to be plus. That was my mistake. Now here, minus 1 to the power of 5, which is odd number, should give me negative. Do you understand? If it was I to the power of 12, then 12 is 2 times 6. That will be plus 1. 14 is 2 times 7. That will be minus 1. 16 is 2 times 8 plus 1. 18 is 2 times 9 minus 1. That is how the series goes. I hope you get it. Now let's get to this side, which is the odd powers. In odd powers, we will get I as one of our answer, but whether it is negative I or positive I, that is to be seen. Okay, so how do we do that? Now we know one thing, that is I to the power of 9 could be written as I to the power of 8 times I. Correct? Now why did I make it 8? Because 8 is a multiple of 2 and I know what I square is. That is why. So now, same strategy as before. I could write this as I square to the power of 4 times I, and I square is negative 1. So it is negative 1 to the power of 4 times I. Even power means positive. So we get positive I this time. Okay? Just as we got positive 1 in A. Now let's look into I to the power of 11. It could be written as I to the power of 10 times I. 10 is, as we did before, I square to the power of 5 times I, and I square is minus 1 to the power of 5 times I, and that we know is negative I. Now from this, what do you conclude? If I have I to the power of, let us say 2n, or if I have I to the power of 2n plus 1. Well, of course, when I say 2n, we are talking about this will be even exponent, right? And that one will be odd, 2n plus 1. Now, what is the result here? Result here is either plus 1 or minus 1. On this side, the result is either plus I or minus I. Now you have to say or answer this question, when do you get plus 1 and when do you get minus 1? Or if the exponent is odd, when do you get plus 1 plus I and when do you get minus I? That is a question for you to answer. What do you think? Now if I is to the power of 2n and if this value of n is even, then plus 1. If n is odd, like here 5, then minus 1. So that answer stands for both. Do you understand? So if this n is even, then you get plus I, and if this n is odd, you get minus I. So the answer is that in such cases, let me just make a block here and summarize what we have learned with the help of this example. So if n is even, then we get this, and if it is odd, we get this in this situation, right? Same here. So if n is even, I mean this n you mean, and if n is odd, we get minus 1. So keep that in mind. I hope that helps. Thank you.